To the East Lampeter Township Public Meeting. All participants are now informed that this meeting is being recorded. This meeting is also being offered virtually utilizing Zoom, which is a cloud-based platform for remote video and audio conferencing. The Zoom application is free to the public. The general public is therefore able to join the meeting by connection through the internet or by calling in by phone. The public is also able to observe the meeting on the township's YouTube channel. Please continue to check the township website calendar for any updates related to these public meetings. Agendas for these public meetings will also be available on the township's website. Please be reminded that this meeting is being video and audio recorded and will be posted to the township's YouTube channel for viewing. The meeting will now proceed with the chairman calling the meeting to order and identifying all other members present in the meeting room and those joining the meeting via Zoom. The chairman will then confirm those members joining by Zoom can be heard.
Okay, welcome to the Monday, June 17th, 2024 meeting of the East Lampeter Board of Supervisors. My name is Corey Meyer and I'm the chair. In the room, I have Supervisor Ted Gallagher, Vice Chair Ethan Demi, Supervisor Roger Rudd, and Supervisor Mike Thornton is online. Mike, can you hear us okay?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you great. Thank you so much. Okay. Please join me in the pledge to the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag, the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. There are sign-up sheets in the back and agendas as well if you want to follow along. Second and third on the agenda, we have public comment for non-agenda items only. There's public comment in the room for non-agenda items. And online. Great. Okay. We'll move on. We have four. We have the consent agenda. Just have a few items to read. We have approval of the June 17th, 2024 Board of Supervisors meeting agenda. We have 4B, approval of minutes of the Monday, June 3rd, 2024 regular meeting. We have 4C, time extension to record conditionally approved plan 2305 Dish Furniture 2217 Lincoln Highway East. And this request is for an extension to September 17th, 2024. This is the fourth time extension to this plan. If additional action is required by the board, that will have to happen no later than the board's September 16th regular board meeting. We have 4D, approval to pay all invoices from all funds, total $273,274.99. There's a few items of note. $67,652 even for second quarterly contribution to our 4 township-based fire companies. That's $16,913 each. We have $14,000 second quarterly contribution to LEMSA. They are our emergency services organization, ambulance service, and $12,500 to Herbine and Company for 2023 audit services. Those are the invoices, and that is the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda items A through D.
Made by Ted, second by Roger. Any board comment or public comment on the consent agenda? Okay, we'll do all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Thank you. Okay, we have next on the agenda, Captain Schenk, police officer swearing in.
Thank you, gentlemen. As you well know, it's been a rather difficult time finding quality candidates. I have the privilege tonight of presenting to you a quality candidate who has passed an extensive background investigation and has proven himself to be a person of good character. Josiah Kanyiha is from the Gold Street area. He attended Lancaster Mennonite High School where he went in 2018. And when we offered him employment, he was already enrolled in the Acton Police Academy, beginning on July 8th. Without further ado, I would like to call Josiah Kanyiha.
Read this off. break it at certain points, so maybe you'll just read off. So I,
Josiah Kaniha,
date of birth,
January 13th, 2000,
being a duly appointed police officer of East Lancaster Township, Lancaster County, Pennsylvania,
being a duly appointed police officer of East Peter Township in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania,
do solemnly swear that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States of America,
do solemnly swear that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution and laws of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
Constitution and laws of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
and the ordinances of East Lancaster Township,
the ordinances of East Peter Township,
that I will serve the citizens honestly and faithfully by discharging the duties of my office with honor and fidelity,
that I will serve the citizens honestly and faithfully by discharging the duties of the office with honor and fidelity.
all my duties as a police officer in accordance with the law,
I will do duties as a police officer in accordance with the law,
and I will obey orders and conduct myself at all times in accordance with the rules and regulations set forth by
and I will obey orders and conduct myself at all times in accordance with the rules and regulations set forth by the department.
enforce the law courteously and appropriately without any consideration of class, color, creed, condition, race, sex, age, sexual orientation, national origin, ancestry, handicap, disability, never employing necessary force or violence, never accepting duties.
Enforce the law courteously and appropriately without any consideration of class, color, creed, condition, race, sex, age, sexual orientation, national origin or ancestry, handicap or disability, never employing unnecessary force or violence, and never accepting gratuities.
Decide now you have to, yeah, introduce your whole family.
Oh, okay. Well, my parents here, Samuel, Lonnie. He's a church pastor, actually. It's very close by in Brownstown here, of the community church. And my mother, Gladys,
Nice to meet you. You can keep going, yeah, keep going.
He's also my parents. That's my the bishop of many churches in the area, Boyd Hoover.
Yeah.
He was his daughter, and her husband. Some more friends.
Awesome, thank you. Thank you to the family. This is not an easy job, as Captain Shank said. Recruiting, getting people to put the badge on and work the streets. Although we have an amazing community, it's the families, standing behind you as they are standing behind you right now. And we'll be standing up here as well for you as well. So thank you for joining the force and good luck. You leave when for the academy? Are you guys ready? Which academy are you going? Okay, yep, great. Welcome, and looking forward to seeing you on the streets. Good. You guys do not stay for the meeting. You don't want to stay for the meeting. Enjoy your night. I mean, you're allowed to stay, but you're welcome. Thank you for coming. I think I saw you were part. Great. Okay, we're good. Okay, 6, old business, comprehensive plan steering committee.
So the board authorizes to move forward with the request for proposals for comp plan consultant work. And part of the initial part of that effort will be once we receive the proposal, get the assistance of a steering committee to help with the selection process, and then also help the consultant and staff go through the actual planning process as that moves forward. So the Township Planning Commission has named one of their members to participate. And I'd like to have the board members participate as well.
Yeah, so Anyone interested in serving comprehensive plan steering committee?
I'll volunteer.
Good. Okay. Accept a motion.
Make a motion to appoint Supervisor Roger Rutt to the Comprehensive Plan Steering Committee.
Second. Motion made, seconded by Ted. Any board comment or public comment? Okay, we'll do all in favor. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, we got an abstention. We finally get an abstention. We got an abstention. We got 4, 1 abstention. Okay, motion passes. Thank you. 7A, we have supervisor discussion items, housing plan implementation.
Staff made the additional changes as we heard them from the board, and just wanted to confirm that now we've got the implementation plan in the order, and everything's ready as far as board is concerned. We have been working on the highest priority with promoting the creation of accessory dwelling units, so the rest of it will follow.
I went through it, reviewed it. It looked like it met the needs and met even your comments.
Appreciate staff's work of putting that all together and look forward as we roll that over the next several years.
Good. We don't need a motion or anything for that?
No.
Okay. Yes. Okay. We'll move on. 7, 2, other. Any other items for supervisor discussion for future agenda? I know the website's being worked on, right? Any other items you can think of? And you don't have to think about it now. We can continue to discuss.
Now, I just left that on the agenda.
Sounds good. Yep. Sure. Yeah. Okay. We'll move on. 8A, resolution regarding PennDOT agreement for Connects 2040 project, Heritage Pathway, Walnut Street.
So both the next items sort of have the same explanation, so I'll just go over them. We're asking the board to adopt the same resolutions that you adopted a number of months ago for these projects. After you approved them a number of months ago, the agreements that PennDOT had given us, PennDOT decided they changed. So they've asked us to refresh those resolutions with the new agreements. And, you know, there's not really a whole lot of option here. If we want to proceed with these projects and get the funding for them, you have to agree to their agreements as they see fit. So I'm recommending that the board take favorable action to adopt resolutions which authorize signatures on those agreements. One of them is actually a brand new agreement. The other one's an amendment to the existing.
Okay, we'll take each of them individually. Yeah, you have a question, Roger?
Which is the brand new? The first one. Okay.
We'll take each motion individually for the resolution. We can have, if we have any additional questions, we can discuss.
Resolution from PennDOT regarding the agreement for the next 2040 project, the Heritage Pathway, Walnut Street agenda. Extension is the general reimbursement grant agreement for federal aid highway projects as presented.
Second by Roger. Anybody even? Any questions, public comment, board comment?
I just wish to ask, there was just one view adjustments to this. Could you mention that?
So both agreements are different than the original ones that the board adopted several months ago. The first one's entirely new, and then the next one they'll be working on amends the one that they adopted before.
Okay. You might mention in the new one that you're working on that's entirely new.
It's for the same Heritage Pathway study that was approved before related to the extension parallel to Walnut Street is the first one. The second one is down Pitney Road.
Okay. Questions? Thanks.
Any other public comment? Okay, we have a motion and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, any abstentions? Good, passes. Motion passes. Thank you. Okay, we have H D, resolution regarding PennDOT agreement for Connects 2040 Heritage Pathway Pitney Road.
Make a motion to approve the resolution on the pending next 24 project pathway, Pitney Road, and the as presented.
A motion made by Ethan, second by Roger. Any public comment, board comment? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Okay. We have, thank you guys. We have a next on the agenda, we have ordinance regarding traffic signals.
Yes, so as we were going through the process and outlining all the ordinances, when we got to the end of it, discovered that there were ordinances that have been passed to approve of the locations of traffic signals, but we were missing a number of them from being in the ordinance and codification. So Solicitor was asked to just simply prepare simple ordinance to add these signalized intersections in the ordinance.
Okay. Which one?
Make a motion to approve the ordinance regarding traffic signals as presented. Second.
And second by Ted. Any public comment, board comment? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed or any abstentions? Motion passes. Thank you. We have 8D, zoning hearing board application regarding quarry view identification sign in ag zone.
Yes, board members will recall that the board approved of this use by a conditional use, and the transformation of the property happened as a result of that. At that time, the applicant didn't present anything related to an identification sign to be included for the use, and now they've come forward with an application. The application has to go to the zoning hearing board because it does not conform with the zoning ordinance limitations on signs in the ag zone. The areas where it does not conform are the fact that it's a monument type sign, the sign height in the ag zone, the sign height for a variant or a monument sign has exceeded, and the area of the sign in the ag zone is exceeded. So this will be in front of the zoning hearing board at their July 11th meeting. And so this is, the board is, as you know, the board is a party to every zoning hearing that happens. So whether you participate in that hearing or not, if there's an appeal from the decision of the zoning hearing board, the board can participate in that appeal process. So you're not required to do anything, but I know the board had an interest in this, and so I wanted to make sure you were aware that this was happening. And if you do want to take an active role in participating in the zoning hearing, this would be the opportunity to direct staff on how you'd like us to approach that. I will tell you that from my perspective, I think, I have concern about the dimensions of the structure of the sign, the fact that it's a monument sign, and although there are other non-conforming signs nearby to this one, I do think that it would be difficult to continue to limit signs in the ag zone should this move forward the way it's presented.
Heard the explanation from Hutch, so sounds like the recommendation is either essentially we either have no action or let's have a discussion. Let me just set it up as that. If we're open to giving an opinion on it at this time.
I mean, my memory of the conditional use, while the applicant didn't come forward with a sign at the time, he was still figuring out exactly what he wanted to do. I think the sign, ideally, the sign should have been as part of that conditional use, and had it been, I mean, my view is we approved a commercial use, so we should treat it like a commercial use, like it would be in the commercial district just up the road. So if the sign would work, commercial district, then I'd be fine with having that sign outdated. So had that come up in the conditional use, that would have been my position then. Say, it's that way.
I would tend to agree. However, size of the sign, I think, could be an issue if that's larger than any sign that's currently approved for commercial uses. But you had mentioned that the current largest commercial sign or commercial zoning, what is that square footage?
80 square feet. This sign as designed is 80 square feet. Just to clarify one thing, if he had presented a sign of this type and size, the board would not have been able to approve it. It still would have had to go on to the zoning hearing board. The dimension of the sign is 80 square feet. The size of the monument is significantly larger than what would be permitted in any commercial zone or any zone in the township at all, in terms of height, especially. I understand your position that, you know, if it was allowed commercially anywhere else, we should allow it here. It would not be, as presented, it would not be allowed anywhere else.
And the other thing, just for, as we think through this, the East Lapeer Commercial Redevelopment Authority will soon be going through the same process to try to get a variance to put a monument sign within a mile of there.
So the process.
May I add something?
Sure, Mike.
Can I get a better description of a monument sign versus the, let's say, a regular sign?
So the ordinance calls them a freestanding sign. So if it's, for example, you know, on a post and the sign is attached to that post, elevated off of the ground, that would be a freestanding sign.
Makes sense.
This is a structure that is, you know, more significantly on the ground, and that's defined as a monument sign.
So is a monument sign essentially either the base or surrounding the sign?
I'm not sure I understand your question, Mike.
Does that make sense? Is a monument sign one that has either a base and or has a surrounding structure to the actual sign, the narrative, whatever is going to be communicated? Is that what distinguishes monument sign?
Might be helpful on screen. We have a picture. Which part of that picture is the monument?
I think the ground base is what makes it a monument. The wording or the message that's on the sign has nothing to do with determining whether it's a monument or a freestanding sign.
Okay. So it really is the base and surrounding structure to the information that's being conveyed in the sign.
Right? Whether it's a monument or freestanding sign, the message has nothing to do with determining that. It's just the structure as it's presented.
And the reason I'm asking is I don't know to what extent other signs that are maybe, you know, wanting to be monuments, I don't know how extravagant they would get and how out of place they would look. That's my thinking on it, just so you know.
For reference, the last monument sign I can think of, I mean, before us was the stone sign that for Greenfield at the entrance of Greenfield. So that's a monument sign, even though the wording is smaller
Yeah.
And also the sign we're proposing to put nearby would be a monument style sign.
And that would be the same as what the school put up years ago, and the digital sign had a big, stone brick base to it, so forth.
Yes.
Okay, that's all for me.
So the size of the sign, not the monument, just the actual sign for our review in the ABCDE, you're saying is 80 square feet.
Correct.
And that actually is the limit for a commercial zone.
Correct. The other concern that staff has with, as this is presented, the ABCDE area appears to be intended for another use on the property. And they don't have approval to have another use on the property. So if that is the intent, to have some message there that would relate to another use, that would not be permitted at all. So that would make the sign smaller.
If they had like a farm stand, you had, or review farm stand operating next door, they couldn't have a sign for a farm stand.
That's not it's not a permitted use on the property.
It would need zoning approval, right?
Farm stand and
Or another use.
Yeah. And the request in front of the zoning hearing board is specifically about the sign, not about other uses? Okay.
Well, it just makes sense that that's communicated to them.
Well, there's really no way to communicate with them in this process. They have to make their presentation to the zoning hearing board, and the zoning hearing board has to act on what's on the application.
I mean, we're assuming that's a secondary use. It could say, person's name, could be proprietor's name, it could say something, right? I mean, it's a good assumption. I would make that same assumption, but,
They've had a real estate sign out in front of the.
Yeah,
property.
understood.
We've looked at the website. We know what they're going to be doing.
Okay, understood.
I just think it's just good practice. Share as much as we can. It's just a phone call. No surprises.
It's a quasi judicial process, Mike, and we can't do that.
I hope as they would listen to a public meeting such as this and might learn some of that from a public meeting. So, okay, so we can either be in favor of this, have no, oppose it, or we could have no opinion on it, take no position at this time.
I'd make a motion, we make no position on it at this time.
Okay, motion made by Mike for no position at this time.
Require a motion, or would just,
You would not.
Okay,
if we were to take a position pro or con, that would require a motion and a vote, be my understanding.
I'd rather leave it with no action as well. Okay, anyone have any other motions? Okay, so Mike did make a motion. Do I hear a second or no second? Not hearing a second, the motion dies. Okay. Let's move on. We have E, action to approve transfer of planned sanitary sewer EDUs, Rockville Development.
Yes, Claudia's
Claudia's
here, for the applicant. To tell you that, remind, I guess, the board that during your discussion on the first phase of redevelopment and the development plan, for that phase, was asked about whether or not planned sanitary sewer EDUs could be transferred between parcels. And so we asked the township solicitor that question. She came back, her view was that it can be, and that, a request of that sort should be made. Claudia made that request by letter dated June 10th. This same issue was presented to the sewer authority, and they took action at their meeting last week to approve transfer reviews. I said, subject to the units that are planned to be demolished, they're being demolished or not being reoccupied. And so that's the authority's direction, staff's recommendation would be that the board take similar action.
Okay, Claudia?
I don't have anything to add.
Okay.
I'm certainly happy to answer any questions the board has.
Do we have any questions for Ms. Shank? To move forward.
So I have a quick question.
Sure, you can have a question.
For an EDUs, how about the one that we needed? Was that the calculation of the EDUs?
So this would transfer number that's required and so this would get them to the number of new dwelling units that they're planning to build. They're 128. So that these would get them to that number.
Yeah, so we had 127, so we're going to 128.
Yes, that will get them to.
Yep. Okay.
On Article 2.
Yes.
Just to be clear.
I'll make a motion to approve the request to transfer of EDUs from parcels 4 and 5 to parcel 2. Subject to conditions, no certificates of occupancy will be issued on parcel 2, less than seal buildings 1, 2, and 3 of parcel 5 are demolished as proposed, and that the former food court building remain vacant and to be demolished as well.
Second. Second. Any public comment? Understand the motion? Makes sense? Okay. Board comment and public comment. Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or any abstentions? Okay, motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, we have F, authorized community survey. Continuation.
Yes, staff group, commented during and your last meeting, and there are changes to the draft question, and I'd like to put this out to get feedback on the items if the board's comfortable with it.
At the future movie night, could we get some of these survey?
Thing to put up 2 QR codes, one for a response to the meeting and one to take the survey.
Maybe at the future Go Yoga. Okay, good. Any questions?
Need survey as presented by staff.
Motion made by Ethan, second by Roger. Any board or public comment? Thank you for taking the feedback. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Okay, motion passes. Thank you. Okay, 9, managers report.
Yes, first thing, I'm very happy to introduce Lisa Cleveland. She's our recreation director and has hit the ground running. Got started right after Memorial Day, so just a couple weeks in, and we've already got several activities and events planned. So she's been jumping right in and doing great.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
So Lisa, I talked to a neighbor that lives down on American Avenue at the Fawcettville Mill and told them and they were aware of it. So they saw social media stuff.
You've been keeping her busy, so that's not going to be a problem.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's great. Any questions for us? Anything we can help with?
I guess I would just suggest that, if, as you have ideas or
Yeah.
thoughts,
Sure.
in the recreation program, let
Yeah.
somebody know and.
That'd be great.
First, park board meeting that we will participate in will be next week. So,
Good. There's a few Facebook pages, like different neighborhoods have Facebook pages. I'm one of the admins for Southridge Farm, which is right near there. So I'll share that to our page, and then other neighborhoods follow my page, follow our page. So we end up sharing each other's stuff. And the fire companies do a great job sharing news. So Lafayette, especially down in that area, but frankly, all four of them will share it, I'm sure. Like Susie Sutton, I think, runs Lafayette's page. Yeah, I'm sure you guys will get in touch with whoever presidents are.
yeah, we've been trying.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Lisa's hands.
Yeah, good. Awesome. Good. Well, thank you. Thanks for joining us. Development no parking ordinance.
There, we've provided some temporary parking spaces off of Old Philadelphia Pike at the entrance to future Gibbons Park. And so the parking that we had happening along Mill Creek Road, especially in the vicinity of the railroad bridge, has been problematic for a number of different reasons. And so now that there's another place to go, we'd like to have an ordinance adopted that prohibits parking in that area. So we'll bring that to the board at the future.
Good.
Just keep going.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, paving should be either started or getting started very shortly on the roads and under the contracts that the board approved. And just wanted to mention that at the October utility billing, there will be changes to not only the bill form, but the place where we want people to send their payments. So just want to get the word out there for people to pay attention to the instructions. If you have to change banking instructions to get those things done when the October bill comes out. So reminding people in the newsletter and other venues.
If an electronic check, like I just go online and put the dollar amount in and hit enter. If a check goes to the old address, will they forward it or will they end up sending it back to the?
That's a fair question. I don't know the answer to that. We will find out the answer to that question.
Yeah, I know I'll probably be able to tell you. But yeah, all good. Yeah, it's the same bank. It's just a different box. No, it's a new
bank. It's going to be
Yeah. So okay. Sounds good. Anything else for the good of the order? Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second by Ted. Any public comment for the adjournment? Yeah, question? I'm sorry. We are going to have executive session for personnel issue directly after this meeting. We have a motion. We have a second. Any public comment on the adjournment? Thank you. All those in favor signify by saying aye.